I am doing or trying to do a Valentine's inspired makeup look. If you're interested in hanging out with me and a get ready with me for a Valentine's Day look for work, then keep watching. Remember to subscribe, comment, and like below. Helps out engagement on my channel. All my foundation shades are listed in the description box below, as well as the products that I'm using today. So if you want to support my channel, you can use the affiliate links, or you just are curious of what's on my face, click the links below so you can see the products that I use. So with that out of the way, let's begin and do a get ready with me Valentine's Day look for work. Okay, beauty fam, I at least mustered enough like getting together my outfit of like a red blouse, and then I have my heart pendant. I think I am going to try some products that I'm currently loving and then some new products. New to me, the Le Beige Healthy Winter Glow Primer. This is in Icy Beige. I did a review of Light Copper, which is this one. It's the deepest one out of, and that's my puppy back in there, Zooey. He's my beauty buddy, but he also has an ear infection. So he's been extra Velcro-y and kind of mopey and wanting my attention. So he's back there. Sorry, I just hope it's not distracting. So I ended up doing a review of Light Copper, which is one of the 3 limited edition primers that came out for the winter collection. And then I ended up getting Icy Beige, which was the second deepest. So there was like a Frosty White, which was like very, very light. This was in the middle, Icy Beige, and then Light Copper. So we're gonna try Icy Beige today, and I'll show you what that looks like compared to the Light Copper. So that's Icy Beige. These have been going in and out of stock, so if I'll put the links below. If you really want to get it, I would say get it. Once Chanel says it's out of stock, it's out of stock, or limited edition, they really mean it. They're not going to sell it again. So I'm trying to decide which of these I'm going to buy a backup of. So this is Light Copper, as you can see, super warm, and there's like a iciness to this Icy Beige. I don't have anything other than skincare on my face. Right, so that is the product. They look the same. The only distinguishing thing for me to look at is this. The product is 30 mils, 1 fluid ounce, good shelf life of 12 months. I'm so sad they don't have this as in the permanent collection. They have these kind of highlighters in the permanent collection. This one particularly, this is Sunkissed. This was a limited edition. And I only use this periodically as kind of like a highlight tint. I don't use this as a base or mix it with my foundation. It's just too thick. This is just a beautiful product, at least the Light Copper that I tried. I wish they made this part of the permanent collection. I did a review of at least Light Copper. What I think is, it reminds me of that balm that came out in, I believe, Asia and in Australia that wasn't here. It just had a beautiful glowy base, perfecting glaze, perfecting base. There's a tack to it, which is what I want for the primer. It doesn't change my skin tone, I don't think, but it does look like it gave me a glow, which is great because I want to use my Louboutin Teint Le Fluide foundation. And I tried 3 shades. I'll put a link in my video up here and below. And I landed on the shade 40 Warm Olive. Now, I know it's my perfect shade now. This will work out for me, but if by next year I'm not anywhere warm, this is going to be way too warm and deep. The quick fix, which I think some of you know, is if you have too orange or warm of a foundation, don't throw it out. Get yourself a blue corrector. You can get any, they make these, like Huda makes these, and I just got the one that was the easiest for me. This is e.l.f. And what the corrector does, because of color theory, it just tones down the warmth of a foundation. Don't throw out your tints or your foundation if they're too warm. Just get one of these. I think this was like $3 or $5, super cheap, and mix it, and then it'll just kind of, it'll work. I just want you to save your products because right now this is working for me. Primer is looking great. This is a 24-hour foundation. It's a matte foundation that's supposed to have like a luminosity, a radiance from within. And that's why it really reminds me of the Clé de Peau Radiant, or the Natural Foundation. It's this one here, the Clé de Peau Radiant Fluid Natural Foundation. So natural finish with a radiance. It reminds me a lot of that. There's a glowy one, and then there's a regular one that's kind of like a, I think it's more matte. I'll do one side so you can see how maybe it looks a little too warm, but we'll see. My face is looking really red today, and that just has to do with allergies. I have eczema and rosacea. It's just how my face is. And I'm using a MikiCarrBeauty brush. A lot of you know this brush. I love it. And this one is the one I reach for most. Okay, so that is 40 Warm Olive. The thing I meant to say about the Chanel primer is that it does have the classic Chanel smell, which is I think the Camellia. If you've tried their products before, Chanel, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's that classic Chanel perfume that they do put in their makeup products. Getting in so you can see. Definitely it can be built as more full coverage. I'm going to do that a little bit, just squeezing a little bit more. And I tend to do this with all my foundations except for, you know, the ones that are super full coverage like Chanel. And I just go over my cheek area because this is where I have, again, you saw my rosacea was peeking through and where I have pores. And again, I'm not rubbing it in, I'm just patting and stippling it in. So that is the Louboutin foundation in 40 Warm Olive. It's supposed to be a 24-hour foundation, and I don't need to have a 24-hour foundation. Since I got this foundation, I don't think I've worn any other foundation. That's how much I really am enjoying this foundation. So if you're curious about more details about the foundation, click the link above or below for my review of this. I have a full day, and when I know I got a full day, I kind of bring out all my stops. This is the Chanel Hydra Beauty Gel Yeux. They recently reformulated this to be in a jar. I don't know if they changed the formula, but when I found out they were moving to a jar situation, I immediately bought an old one from Macy's. I might try to buy another one of these. This is kind of like a staple in my makeup routine. As I'm getting older and I'm aging, things just get dry, more crepey, as y'all know. And that is just like really good eye prep for me for makeup. I'm Asian heritage, so I have a bunch of fans around my house. I'm grabbing the Natasha Denona color corrector, and I have it in the color C4. I think this is a bit too orange. I think when there's a sale at Sephora, probably in the spring, I will get this corrector in C3. It's just a smidge too orange. That's why I don't want to go heavy on it. But because I'm more tan, it's like I'm passing for what I can use this. I have not done a review of this, and let me know if you want me to. I have been wear testing this Fenty Beauty We're Even concealer, and initially I had gotten 295W because it's warm, and then 300N neutral. I'm about in the Fenty Pro Matte Filter, like the matte foundation, I'm about a 300. So then I got 300N, but because I'm warm olive, I picked 295. Actually, the 295W was like way neutral looking and lighter, and then 300N neutral was warmer and peachier. So it was this really weird. I still think this is a little bit too light, so I wanted to go into Sephora and find one that's a bit peachier. So for me, this is like more of a lightening concealer. This is the Doe Foot, and let me just do a quick swatch for you. I guess it's more neutral. Depends on, you know, I have a warm olive undertone, so it'll show up in the way it shows up on me. I'm looking for more like something peachy and a bit deeper because this is more lightening. I am loving this concealer. It surprised me. I tried a lot of concealer. I'm taking a Sonia G jumbo concealer. I tried a lot of concealer last year, including the Gucci concealer, and you know, makeup is so subjective depending on what you got going on and whatnot. So you can see it's a little too light. I didn't like any concealer really last year except for the Chanel one, which I love that formula. It's very natural looking. So because this is too light, I'm just gonna pat this a little bit. It's very thin, this formula. And it reminds me of the Gucci concealer in its thinness, which I love because when I start to, you know, I'm aging, so I'm actually brushing some of this off because it's a bit too much. It's very pigmented. So I didn't actually put too much on the eyes, so I just took away some. and it's very thin, so I'm patting it in. It's such a nice concealer, and it says it's crease resistant, and I would say that's true. It's not crease proof, but definitely crease resistant. And I think because of the formula being so thin, it doesn't crease on me really. So again, you can see that was way too light. I need something that's a little bit warmer and peachier, something more my skin tone. Let's just be honest. So I'm gonna go in store and look at the 310, 315. And then buy one of those. So that is the Fenty We're Even concealer. I think it's a kind of a light medium coverage concealer. I think the magical thing is that it's pigmented yet so thin in formula, and it just works for me. I think it's really lovely. I'm grabbing my Pat McGrath medium. I'm using a powder, under eye powder, that's actually more of my skin tone to just kind of balance out the brightness of it. I mean, can you see? It's so good, right? I mean, partially it's the magic of this under eye powder, which is like my favorite under eye powder from Pat McGrath. I love this product so much. I have it in light, medium, and yellow, banana. But medium is just like perfect. I actually have used this all over my face before. Well, let's go back to Fenty. So this is the packaging. I've actually traveled with this on my vacation. It's so interesting on the promo pics, they have it standing up. You can't, it's not a flat edge. So I had to put it in a component where it sits up like this, but that is what it looks like. It's very light. I love the sleek packaging. I wish it would stand upward, horizontal, but it doesn't. That is what it's looking like. I think it's such a great concealer, like pretty long lasting, and I find that I definitely, out of all the concealers, like compared to last year that I tried, it doesn't really crease that much. Again, so you can see where the foundation is a really good foundation mist, but it's a smidge too warm, but I'm not mad about it. I'm just gonna grab this cream bronzer. This is the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Intensity 2. I recently did more of like a Tom Ford look because of that iconic smoke quad that I did a review. I'll link it below. And I tried like more of a daytime look using more of my Tom Ford products, and I had forgotten about this cream bronzer. Moreover, I lost my Chanel cream bronzer, and I'm like, well, let's just break out what I have. And I just find this one so easy to use. I'm gonna do a ranking soon of of the cream bronzers I have, because I need to declutter some of them. So I'll do a ranking video. I actually like this better than the Chanel, because the Chanel one I can't find has dried up. And that's the thing about cream products, you just kind of have to watch them a little more. So far, I'm just gonna let you know I think the primer is really pretty. You can see the glow that primer is leaving. It's just really, really pretty. Continue. I think I want to try using my Chanel quad here. And I have a review of this. This is the Chanel Éclat de Nuit. This is like a night brilliance is what it translates to. I might pull from the Lumiere Graphique from the holiday collection, just because it's very similar. They're like the cool cousins. I really love this one more just because I think it looks nicer on me. This formula is more forgiving on my eyelids, but I love both. If you were to ask me which one you only could get one, which one would I recommend? I would recommend this, but it's subjective. I think people love this one a lot, and I think you can't go wrong if you get either of them. It depends on what you're looking for. I'm going to take this kind of mushroomy, kind of satiny matte shade here, taking a Sonia G Classic Crease. And because I have a warm olive undertone, this shade barely shows up on me. That would be like my critique of like, you're close to my shade or kind of olive tone around my shade. This shade may or may not show up on you. I think it's good enough in that I'm using this for work, so I don't want it to be super dramatic. It's just subtle enough that there's something there. See, you can see it's there. And in my review, I'll link it above and put it below. I did a daytime look and then a smoky look. And because it is supposed to be a smoky quad, I wanted to show you how that would look. And some of you chimed in that you actually liked the daytime look, which is cool. It's fine. Actually, that's how I would wear it more. I'm just not really a big smoky person. What I'm doing now is grabbing actually the Lumiere Graphique. This initially had gotten this from Nordstrom, and the mirror had cracked, and they apologized and then sent a new one. So I'm just grabbing this kind of taupey shade here. And I'm not being super precise because I'm actually running late for work. This is more frosty, this palette. It's not a bad thing. Just kind of want to show you the difference. That side one is more of the topper shade, this one. But there's more of like a light one, and then there's like a more peachy tone one. Super pretty. And then I'll swatch these two for you. It's just like a, call it like an antique kind of taupey shade, and the one underneath it. Well, let's try this one. Let's see how that looks. Just flipping the brush over. This is a soft shader. Yes, it's nice. It doesn't add creases to my eyes, and I think that's the nice thing about Chanel, is that it's so subtle. And it's so, how to describe it? It doesn't add texture to my eyelids. And some of you don't have to worry about that. Great. But for me, I'm definitely, as I'm aging, I'm seeing I have to definitely consider that more. I'm going to see this plus that as a topper. I'm actually just going to take my finger and then see what that looks like on the center lid. And I've been wanting to combine these two quads for a while. These two eyeshadow palettes. I just think they go so well. Okay, so it brightened up, and then I want to see what this topper will do. Again, taking that edge one, this last one, and then kind of going over. It just adds a little sparkle. Nice. Be careful with some of these shades, or for me, because they're so close in tone that they can look a little muddy, but I'm gonna have faith in the process that it's just gonna come up with a nice look. Flat definer. So this is from the Graphique Lumiere Eclat de Nuit. You can see there's more, there's almost like a blueness in there, like a shift. This is the more glamorous one. And there's definitely some pigment in there, some glitter reflex. I'm actually just going to go into this Eclat de Nuit because I'm doing a work look, not a, glam, I'm going out look. And I'm just going to, just add some dimension here. I don't want to put any depth there. I just know myself, when I start putting things in the outer edge, it gets really, really smoky really quick. And I want this to be like a very, as light as possible, kind of daytime work look. This lower shade, this taupey one, and line it underneath here. And the look I'm doing today, for me, is like a more realistic kind of wearable look. I'm trying to put together a look that I can wear in an office. I'm gonna grab the Chanel Sunbath Deep just because I love it. It has like, do you see it has almost like an orange tinge to it? But I think the look is coming together. What I do want to do is, I'll do the blush last. This is the MikiCarrBeauty 105 brush. I use this as a buffering brush, and then going in with the Chantecaille, the light medium perfect blur finishing powder. And I'll do one side so you can see what this product does. So that is one side, and without, it just kind of evens out the look and like blends any harsh edges there might be still. I have to be careful not to use too much because it can make me lighter or make me a little bit ashy, just because I'm in between. It's a light medium and then they have a medium deep, and it's just, yeah, I wish Chantecaille would do better of like shade range and all that. Like they should really have at least 3 or 4 shades. That is what the look is looking like. Apologies if this seems like rushed because I actually am in a rush. Yeah, I'm grabbing Slate by Chantecaille, just dotting this down here to add some depth, and then I'm going to smudge it. This is the DANESSA MYRICKS liquid liner, Onyx. She only has one color. I'm waiting for the day that she comes out with more. This is such a great liquid liner. The liner to the edge, the outer part of my eyes. That's it, baby wing. Taking some MAC Giga Black, that's for the lower lash only. This Gucci mascara, again, it's not volumizing, it's more lengthening and separating. Okay, now I remember why I don't use this alone. It's a little bit too wet, so it brings my lashes down. I actually forgot that my preferred combination is the Chantecaille and then this, because what happens that's that formula for Gucci that it just kind of brings down my lashes, whereas this Chantecaille one, it's good for my lashes that are Asian, that kind of, once they get wet, they droop. It doesn't droop with Chantecaille. This is why I will spend a stupid amount of money on this mascara because my eyelashes are really fussy. I'm actually gonna finish with two blushes. The Mauve Glace. I just want to use what I have, like the newer stuff. The Mauve Glace, which is such a pretty blush. This one here, and I like to put it back here because it's pretty intense, at least for my skin tone. It's a mauve color. It's so pretty. I love this blush collection. There's an iridescence. It reminds me a little bit of the vibe of the melting powder blushes from Suku. Now I'm taking Rose Polaire, and because it's lighter and cooler, I actually use as kind of like a highlighter. But the 1-2 punch I'm loving. Okay, so that is the blush so far. I think I over blushed, but that's the first thing for me that actually starts to go right away. And then I'm taking this Lisa Eldridge Velvet Lip product. This is Ribbon. I think I'm just gonna go with it. It's Valentine's Day. Okay, that's it. I think that's really pretty. We're gonna use this. This is again the Lisa Eldridge Velveteen Liquid Lip Color, and the color is Ribbon. I think because I'm wearing white polka dots, I'm going to use these new earrings that I bought for my vacation. I think this is like such a me earring. It's simple but pretty. Okay, that's the look. What do you think? The finished Valentine's Day look. I think I'm gonna grab my other blazer and then just call it a day and go into work. So if that was fun, beauty fam, give me a like, comment below what you think of this Valentine's look that I did. The primer is looking beautiful. I love it. Happy Valentine's Day, or Galentine's Day, beauty fam. I hope you are feeling loved and that you are loved. As always, please be very kind with yourself and others, and just be you. Until the next video, take good care of yourself, beauty fam. Bye.